watched these two movies straight after each other, and I must say I was stunned about the difference in quality between the two, because this must really be one of the worst sequels I've ever seen. Much in the same way as Speed 2, they neglect everything that made the first movie work so well. Anyways, compared to that one, they even use most of the same cast. But it is very surprising that they still can't make it work. The main reason for that is that they neglect everything that made the first movie good, and it is way too slow. While you saw quite intense battle scenes and even the acting was intense in the first one, the sequel takes a more laid-back approach, where it is all about battle strategy and building up the last battle at the end of the movie. That does not start until 1 hour and 40 minutes into the movie. That's not good enough for me as a viewer, because you got too many boring, long drawn out parts, and the movie is way too slow. It starts getting better towards the end, but that's when you have 20 minutes left of the movie. Yes, there were some strategy meeting in the first movie also, but that was mostly during the end of the movie, building up to the final fight that of course comes way too late in this movie. Another problem is also that the wrong characters get the screen time. This time around, it is way more about the wife of the main character, Shu Yu, as well as Piggy and Pit. I feel that kind of ruins the momentum of the story that was very well built up in the first movie. Naturally, one feels that those characters just are not exciting, and that the main characters like Shu Yu and Xiao Xiao should have interacted with each other a lot more face to face, like they did in the first movie. Naturally, I understand that you can't have battle scenes all the time, and that's not the point, but in a story, they mostly choose to focus on the emotion of the characters rather than the perfect and entertaining choreographed violence from the first movie. When the battle commences, which is mostly a naval battle, it is not as intense as the sword or ground fights from the first movie either, so that's a miss in this one. Furthermore, it is quite strange when you describe this as an epic and legendary battle that you can't make part 2 more appealing, because then the second part should have been the more intense one. So that's a clear mystery to me that I may never solve in my head. Anyways, the battle should have started earlier, the characters that were interesting and the main characters should actually have had way more screen time, because it is actually these characters that are central in the story. But that's not what it seems to be in this failed second movie. Another thing that they could have been better at is to cut out the emotion more, to exactly have more focus on the big battle. I understand that you need to build it up and there's a lot of emotion in a big battle like this, but you could have toned down that a lot more. Some of the best scenes in this one are the final moments when Xu Yu and Xiao Xiao are facing each other head to head. But that's something you should have seen a lot more, instead of just all these letters between them all the time. Naturally, for me, I will just give this a 4 out of 10 in what was a highly disappointing movie that I expected way more from.